My name is Cliff Wadalevich. I'm the Assistant Director for Discovery Park, and I have the pleasure of being your MC this afternoon, and I will be introducing 16 very dynamic projects that were introduced during the Big Idea Challenge 2 earlier in the spring. All of these projects, I will tell you, were wonderful. Unfortunately, you just don't have all the funding available to fund them all. But we are very, very pleased and honored to give you the opportunity to see them and the PIs and their representatives present these proposals. And I think you'll all agree that they really do, stand on their own. And we wish we could have funded them all. So we're going to run through these in the TED-style talks. Our first presenter today is Bryan Pijanowski. And Bryan, I'm going to give you the floor. And we're going to try to keep these to about 7-8 minutes. If we get off the time schedule a little bit, I think it'll be okay.
All right.
Whoa, time flies.
All right. So welcome to my big idea talk. Had a presentation of a big idea with a big group of people. We were led by myself, and we were a team composed of individuals all across campus. The big idea here is to address a really critical crisis that is unfolding right now. We have over 7 million species of organisms on the planet. And recent information suggests that about 1 million of them are in the threatened and endangered category. That's not good. And some people are suggesting that we're in the middle of the sixth extinction. We need other organisms because we depend upon them. They help pollinate our crops. 1 out of every 5 mouthfuls of food comes from a pollinated crop. They purify our water and air, and they could eventually cure cancer. But what we don't know is where are all the species. Matter of fact, we don't even have labels for most of them, and we don't even know what the trends are. But we've known about this in the scientific community because we've had really courageous people like Rachel Carson bring this to the public, but we still don't know much about it. Matter of fact, it's kind of out of the view of the public. We have a physical and psychological separation from nature that is unprecedented right now. So what do? We marshal the forces here at Purdue and Discovery Park. At the moment that we were presenting this, back in May, we had $8 million of grants in review. Several million dollars are still in review. 1 came back, recommended for funding, but declined. We're going back. We have a network of individuals through Purdue, led through Purdue, that number over 1,000 researchers around the world. And what we want to do is assemble them around what we call 4 platforms. A platform is the integration of software, hardware, peopleware, and dataware around a common purpose. And what we want to do is marshal this around ideas of missions and convergence and developing minimum viable products that we can eventually use to go out and sell, market, and promote our idea around the world. So our Discovery Park idea was really to develop this. We're going to be known for being around the world for providing innovations that reverse the biodiversity trends. The individuals that we've assembled are really first-rate. We have the best people here at Purdue, domain experts in areas such as amphibians and remote sensing, engineering. I've knocked on the doors for vice presidents from Microsoft and other corporations and said, can you help? And they've said yes. I've also knocked on the doors of leaders of conservation partners, including the Nature Conservancy, folks that have resources that can help us. We've also developed teams that can help us to promote in very unique spaces, such as science education museums, stimulate the wonder about nature in places where people kind of go to learn about discoveries of new science. And then we've got research partners around the world that have signed up and said, we're going to help Purdue. So we have this individual here that you might maybe recognize. I'm on the radio a lot. People have referred to me as the Indiana Jones of Purdue. I do crazy things like climb towers and listen to the jungle in Borneo forests. I'm out on the eastern steppes of Mongolia conducting research, looking at biodiversity in areas that are pristine. I've been on CNN, going out with a CBS crew here in the next couple of months. I'm trying to communicate the importance of what it is we're studying and promote Purdue. So I've been the director of an IMAX movie. It's out now. I'm an executive producer of it, and we've done a lot of things. I've just finished a book for children on trying to get them inspired and listening to the sounds of nature. I've also been PI on many NSF grants, EPA grants, and so I've tried to be a leader. One of the most marvelous sounds are the sounds of Borneo. This is what I woke up to every morning for 3 months. 32 cicadas all singing in sequence, in incredible sequence, 700 species of animals, amphibians, some that I couldn't even recognize and identify. Very, very rich, an orchestration. We've aligned ourselves and organized ourselves along mission areas around the platforms that allow us to really move forward, organize our ideas, and make a high impact. The 4 platforms that we're proposing is to develop a biodiversity platform. The one that we proposed was to develop one down in Amazon. Guess what? If we were there, we would be there looking at the impacts of the Amazonian forest fires right now. We're working in one of Jane Goodall's sites in Tanzania. We're proposing to set up and erect long-term, 50-year biodiversity stations recording and looking at collecting remote sensing information. So can you click? So remote sensing, LiDAR, we have allow us to look at the habitat. So we have global coverage of this kind of database. You can click on the next one. At Purdue, we've worked collaboratively with engineers to develop specialized AI tools that probe sound files. We are the experts here. We are the global experts at being able to use deep learning to get into sound files that have a lot of detail. The next one. Again, we've developed a partnership, worldwide partnership with science museums and centers through the distribution of our IMAX film called Global Soundscapes: A Mission to Record the Earth. I'm one of the stars, and so are the other stars are my graduate students. And then the organizational platform we would develop that is modeled after the Cornell Laboratory of Ornithology, where we would have both fundraising, very specific fundraising, and a company. Since the first talk, we've actually set up the company, and we're going through and almost finished setting up the foundation. They're all articulating with one another. This is the roadmap for getting there. I guess I'm out of time. So again, the purpose was really to marshal the forces, focus a lot of attention on what we're doing here at Purdue, bring expertise such as the engineering, the biological, the platform idea, and to move it forward as a model. Thank you.
Anybody have a question for Bryan?
Oh,
Right there.
yeah, somebody have a question?
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't, the lights are bright.
I'm Shimali, I'm an assistant professor in biological engineering, and I'm looking at this biogenome project. So your work sounds very complementary, and things like this will be really important. So how do you think your work will be complementary or
Yeah. So we have a project in the Channel Islands looking at biodiversity in kelp forests within a marine protected area and outside. It involves a lot of those partners up here, and we're actually looking at diversity in all of its dimensions, including things like the genomic, genetic, using things like eDNA. So it interfaces perfectly. Join the mission.
You may have time for one more.
Okay, so I haven't heard the question if a tree falls in the woods to, okay.
Bryan, thank you so much.